Yo guys, how y'all doing tonight? Welcome for listening to the Process YouTube channel again. And let's go ahead and get into this Eagles victory tonight. And let me tell you, this game had a ton of up and downs. And to be fair, throughout most of this game, I did not think the Eagles were going to win this game. And to be fair, the way they played, they didn't look like they were going to win this football game. But what was impressive about this football game was the fact they hung together. They didn't give up, and they kept fighting till the end. And you know what? This was an ugly game. And sometimes in order to get your season started, you got to win an ugly game. And this was about as ugly of a game as you can possibly have. So, to be fair, in this first half, the Eagles' offense was about as anemic as you can get. They were calling screenplay after screenplay, and the Carolina Panther defense was just keyed in on them. They knew what was coming. They kept wrapping them up, and the Eagles could get nothing going. Throughout the first half, Jalen Hurts didn't even have 50 yards passing until the last 2 minutes of the game. I mean, throughout that first half, it was just constant right on them. They throw the screen, and the Carolina Panthers just wrapped them up. They were keyed in on what the Eagles wanted to do, and for whatever reason, the Eagles constantly refused to run the football. This offense is just having so much trouble getting themselves in a rhythm, not staying on pace, not staying on time. And when they get going, but it's always through the passing game. They're not running the football. They refuse to give Miles Sanders the football whatsoever. And even Kenneth Gainwell, they didn't even give him the football much at all today. For whatever reason, this Eagles offense wants to function as a pass offense. It's completely and 100% RPO based, which, if you saw this first half, was a complete and utter disaster. And for whatever reason, this team just doesn't want to do anything else besides the RPO. I'm not sure it's whether they don't have trust in Jalen Hurts throwing the football as a regular quarterback, or they feel like they have to run this RPO offense because they have Jalen Hurts as their quarterback. For whatever reason, this is the style of offense that Nick Sirianni has deemed to be efficient for this team, and throughout 5 games, it is just not working. Now, granted, in the second half, the offense was able to start to get some things going, but they still were turning the football over. They were still making some stupid penalties. And even in the first half, they were still struggling in the red zone. They go ahead and get an interception by the defense, which, let me just say it right now, the defense kept them in this football game. The only reason they won was because the defense actually showed up today, but I'll talk about them later. They get an interception early in the first quarter. They get the football at the 10-yard line, and you lose yardage. You don't even gain yardage. Your first 2 drives of the game, you lose yardage. Jalen Hurts was 2 of 3 for -1 yards passing. How the hell do you do this as an offense in the NFL? It's absolutely unbelievable that they would have negative passing yards and refuse to throw the football down the field. Even if it's a crossing route over the middle. Do that. They just refused to do that. They kept calling screens to the running back, to the receivers, and the Carolina Panther defense just swarmed on them throughout in the first half. And the Eagles were even lucky to have 6 points at the end of the first half. They were lucky to have any points. If it wasn't for the turnover, they very well might have only had 0 points throughout the entire first half. That first half offense was absolutely abysmal. But after the 2-minute warning, after the Jason Kelce hike over Hurts' head that ended up being a safety, the Eagles offense finally started calling normal NFL plays and actually started to move the football down the field. Jalen Hurts started to show somewhat of a rhythm. And let me say this right now. Jalen Hurts was not perfect today. He was, I would even argue, was even good today. Maybe not. He was okay. But the fact of the matter is, he struggled in the first half. He struggled into the third quarter. But when it got to the fourth quarter, yeah, he was missing guys early. Yeah, he overthrew Ertz and it was intercepted. Yeah, he overthrew some guys early in the game. But you know what? When it mattered in the fourth quarter, he was able to hit Quez Watkins deep, which got the offense going. He was able to make some runs, to make some plays, to really get some big first downs for this team. When it was all on the line, Jalen Hurts did what he needed to do to win the football game. And that's what mattered. He goes ahead and rushes for 2 touchdowns, including the game winner, and he got the job done. Yeah, his stats aren't gone. He was 22 of 37 for 198 yards and an interception. Yeah, that's nothing to go home to cry home about. But you know what? When it mattered in the fourth quarter, he made some big runs. He ran for 2 touchdowns. and he won the Eagles the game. That's an intangible that's very special in a quarterback. That is something good that if we can get his arm right, he can take that and build upon that. Now, we have to remember, he's young. He's only played 9 NFL games. There's still a lot to be figured out on Jalen Hurts. But the big thing he showed today, he didn't give up. He didn't put his head down. And he rallied his team when it mattered most. They scored 15 to 3 points coming out in the second half. He led the team back. They did what they needed to do. It wasn't pretty, but the fact of the matter is Jalen Hurts led this team to victory, and he deserves a ton of credit for it. And another guy who deserves a ton of credit is Devonte Smith. He had a fumble in this game, which killed one of the Eagles' early drives in the second half. But you know what? He kept getting open. He kept making plays. He kept being there, and he made a key 2-point conversion late in the fourth quarter, which helped the Eagles get a 3-point lead until the Eagles' defense made a play, which actually sealed the game for him. Devonte Smith has proven to be well worth the top 10 pick the Eagles selected, Matt. He's probably the best receiver the Eagles have had in I can't tell you how many years. Hopefully him and Jalen Hurts can continue working on their rapport. The Eagles can somehow actually call a normal offense for once, and maybe they can get this thing going. They got a short week, but the offense needs to get ready pretty quick. Now let me talk about the Eagles defense, and let's be fair. The past 2 weeks, the Eagles defense has been the butt of all jokes, and they've deserved it. 2 straight weeks giving up 40 points. But you know what? Against a Carolina offense that isn't the greatest in the world, but functional, the Eagles defense finally showed up and had a great game today. They were able to get pressure. They were able to force Sam Darnold to roll to his right, which went ahead and allowed them to get off the field in third down. They had 3 interceptions. The Eagles defense had 3 interceptions in this game, which is something I can't even remember the last time they pulled something like this off. Darius Slay, a guy who'd been yapping all week, talking about how the defensive scheme's not this. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of that. You know, it's the first time I heard a guy talk a big game in the week and actually show it up on Sunday. Darius Slay with 2 interceptions today, and they were drive killers is what they were. He made a play when the defense needed to. Javon Hargrave, once again, causing havoc for the Eagles' defensive line, making Carolina not know what the hell they're doing. Fletcher Cox finally shows up today, which is another guy that's like, where the hell have you been all season? You finally making a play. It's about damn time. And then Josh Sweat making another sack as well. The Eagles' defensive line was finally able to get some pressure. The linebackers didn't look absolutely horrible like they have for most of the year, which let me call a shout out to Devonte Taylor. He had a few nice tackles today, made some good plays. We'd like to see him get a little bit more play time. But the Eagles secondary showed that, hey, it ain't on us this time. They made some plays. They were able to force Carolina off the field. Got to give a huge hat off to the Eagles defense. They've been ridiculed all week, and rightfully so. Granted, they played 2 great offenses the past 2 weeks, and they got torched, but you know what? They came out, they silenced all the haters today, and they deserve a ton of credit. They only gave up 1 touchdown, 2 field goals, and then there was a safety, which they have no control over. The Eagles' defense played a good game, and to be fair, this defense kept the Eagles' offense in the game long enough to where the offense was finally able to get going in the second half, and they were able to take control. This is one of those games where if everything goes well and these guys are really bought into the system, this is the game that can really turn around their season. Everything that could have gone wrong for them in the first half did. The offense was sputtering. They couldn't even have 50 yards of offense. They were so bad. But the defense kept them in the game. They kept fighting, and the Eagles' offense kept fighting and churning. And you know what? In the end of the day, they're able to pull out a big win today, and they're able to save their season. They're 2-3 right now. They're going to a tough matchup against Tampa Bay, which most likely they're going to lose. But you know what? 2-3 is a hell of a lot better than being 1-4 and possibly looking at 1-5. This is a football team that possibly saved their season. Maybe they still won't do anything, so be it. But you know what? It's a good win. It makes us feel a hell of a lot better after 3 straight losses, because nobody likes seeing 3 straight losses back to back. And to have a 4th straight loss right there, that would have just been a killer for this team. And it seemed like everybody was pointing fingers, but you know what? They got the job done. And yeah, there's still a ton of issues with this Eagles team. They're not giving Miles Sanders the football. They're throwing the ball too damn much. The defense is very simple. But you know what? There were some good changes. The Eagles started running the ball more in the second half. The Eagles' defense actually blitzed somebody for once. They showed new looks that offenses weren't ready for. There were some nice changes. The Eagles rebounded from 2 really bad performances. And you know what? Maybe there's a little hope now. Maybe there's a little hope that the Eagles can show you something this year. But the best thing I can say right now is, Eagles fans, enjoy the win. It's nice to have a win. It's been a long time coming. It's been about a month since we've had a win. So it's good to have a win. Enjoy it. But remember, there's a lot for this team to fix. It's a good win. It's an ugly win. But still enjoy it. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for listening today. If you enjoy what you're listening to, please hit a like and comment in the comment section below. With that, I'll catch you all next time. Peace.